We are live.
And we lost Mike at this very moment.
I think Mike might have been pressing the wrong button. It's a weird button design with the approval when the stream when the call is being live streamed. It happened to me as well. I clicked the leave button because that seemed to be the right thing from the interface design. No criticism though. Hey, welcome back, Mike.
Yeah, I was typing something else, it popped up, and then I hit spacebar and it left me to leave.
Oh.
Okay, so let me continue with the meeting. So yeah, welcome to everyone who joined this meeting. This is Flatcar release planning meeting, and Cyan started creating the agenda, but he could not make it, unfortunately. Can I now share my screen for that? Yeah, just a minute. I cannot share my screen.
Wait. That's on me, sorry. Can you try again, please?
Okay. Yes, I'm sharing again. So this is the agenda created by Cyan today. And yeah, we can skip the introduction at the moment. And news about Flatcar releases is, first of all, last week we did a series of the whole release in on mostly all channels, LTS 2022 stable, beta and alpha. However, we could not make it with the LTS 2021, the old channel 2605.30.1 because of several CI issues. Anyway, that releases went relatively well until the last week. However, as always, when a stable major version has changed, it means that the whole big changes between the old stable version and the new stable version became live in many most users workflows. So there are several ongoing issues reported in the recent days. For example, the network reachability issues or systemd authority issues and so on. So we are working on it. Yeah, Jeremy and our team also did a good overview over the ongoing issues regarding the systemd 250. So please have a look, and yeah, hopefully we could address the critical issues in this week, and we could finish roll out the new point of releases, including the stable and LTS. Yeah, but it could be next week if we do not manage to get things done everything. And yeah, there is an umbrella issue created by Daniel. Yeah, please have a look if you are interested in. Yeah, thanks for everyone who reported the bug and yeah, helped us with the testing. Is there any question about that?
I have a quick question. So with these fixes, what's the general release process, especially around the DHCP one? Does this go through the whole pipeline again, or does this, do you issue hot fixes, patches? What's the normal release cycle like?
In this case, this is the bug or regression, so we should be able to hotfix the release. So LTS, stable, beta, alpha. So point release, for example, for stable, 32.27 2.1. That should be the case.
Okay, I was just curious what the process was like. Thank you.
In general, for bug fixes, it runs that way. And if you check the previous stable releases, you'll actually see patch level releases for most of the stable series. It just happens that every now and then either we have like patch level bumps of packages that we ingest, like the kernel, or we have bugs that we fix. And then in this case, for the case at hand, it'll be 32.27 to 1. And it's relatively certain that there will be a 2.2 and maybe a 2.3 even, because stable have a pretty long lifetime of multiple months.
Okay.
Great, thank
The next topic is, as I mentioned, we did not release the old channel, the ATS 2021, 26.05.30.1 because of the CI issues. And today I had a look into the CI failures, and the issue is actually not in the actual code itself, but in our CI pipeline. So for some reason, certain kubeadm tests should be skipped for this new old channel, but somehow it's not skipped. And I tried to test the kubeadm Calico planner test, and it fails, unfortunately. So I think we can mark the details in the release notes and continue with the releases in this week. So is there any opinion about that?
Nope, that's good for me. This is what we discussed on Matrix.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. And let me open the release planning board, our regular release planning board. Here, so the next alpha is planned on 29th August, and this this is just a preliminary release number. So if we do a hotfix release in this week, and in between this period, then this number could be also different. Just okay. And packages should be updated, are listed here, and some are merged already, and some Vim and Vim utility packages are still in progress. Diane has been working on Vim. However, the upstream Gentoo has some issues with that, so Diane has been struggling with upgrading Vim. So let me have a look into that in this week. Also, Vim utility, this is somehow interesting, and it CI fails without any failure messages. So it's kind of mysterious. We need to debug it. And another one, yeah. Because of some security issues, we need to update Git to 235.4. However, Gentoo is masking this version and also the newer versions. So we need to either unmask that version or ask a Gentoo upstream maintainer to somehow figure out what's the way forward. So several security issues need to be addressed in the next alpha version. Also, we need to update kernel to the new point release to be able to address the kernel's speculative execution red bleed issue. And Cyan has been trying to update the systemd to a newer version. However, it's kind of dangerous at the moment because of systemd current 250 version itself has a lot of issues going on. To somehow be careful about that. And there are many packages to be updated in the backlog. So if you are interested in that work, then yeah, feel free to jump in. Is there any question about that? Okay, then let me close this window. I think that's it on my side. So let me stop sharing. Okay. Questions in general?
Yeah, I had a question. I posted the Git issue in chat, issue 735. It's about a Amazon CloudWatch agent package request for it. I'm just curious what the general process and like what happens with these types of package requests. Are these sort of things the sort of thing that gets packaged into Flatcar, or are these, you know, since this is an Amazon specific agent, is this something that is considered on the cloud provider to provide a package for? I just wasn't sure where the line of, you know, responsibility fell for this kind of stuff. I wasn't sure who I should be asking for this sort of thing. Like I said, I saw the issue in Flatcar, you know, repo, so I wasn't sure if I should be asking you all for the status or whether I should be asking Amazon for the status of this kind of package.
No, actually, it's a perfect spot to ask here. So I see that Jeremy did a quick dive on that. We have he even found an e-build that we could ingest and integrate. So vendors in general are handled in a very specific way in Flatcar. You have like the core image, that is the /usr partition, where all of the operating system binaries are, and then for each of the vendor images, you have add-ons, and those land in a separate partition. So this is not part of the core Flatcar partition, and unfortunately, even it doesn't even get updated currently. We're working on that. It's on the roadmap. So once you provision your vendor image, the OEM partition is never touched again. But as I said, in the future, that'll change. So the way this works is when the final image is produced and a base image has been built already, then the whole disk layout will be created with all of the respective partitions. And then in the OEM partition, which is a fixed slot, a fixed size, all of the respective OEM tools get installed. So for the AWS image, these are different tools than for the Azure image, different tools for the QEMU image, and so on and so on. And this is the main item that Jeremy is raising here, and that is, does it fit with all its dependencies? Does it fit into that partition? Do we need to change the partition size for that, or do we need to do any like deeper changes to the way Flatcar builds? if the ebuild can just be ingested and basically just added to the dependencies of the AWS image of the AWS vendor, then it should be relatively straightforward. So this is currently sitting and waiting for an engineer to be picked up.
Okay, thank you.
And since this brings me into some of the more interesting things on the Flatcar roadmap, so we're moving away from the whole OEM partition concept in the future. There's a great new feature in systemd that is called sysext, where you can basically have a layered composable file system image, and that is also read-only, which is kind of the philosophy in Flatcar. We're looking into using that for OEM tools in the future and adding OEM tools updates while they're at it. It's a few months out, but it's definitely one of the bigger chunks that we want to tackle next. This is not a kind of a roadblock for the AWS thing that we're looking at. It's just kind of an outlook in the future. But if anyone wants to pick up the AWS issue and add that specific agent to Flatcar, giving the restraints that Jeremy called out on the tickets, that is absolutely welcome work.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, also, I wanted to add a quick note on this release. It's the first time we have on stable the new Ignition v3 support. So if you want to test, actually it's already tested in alpha and beta, but yeah, it's the first landing on stable. So feel free to play with it.
Yeah. So if you folks want to use the new Ignition features that come like with the new language version, here's the opportunity. Ignition version 2 will still work. This is something we do. This is something Fedora Core has decided not to do. We have a few patches on top of our upstream, which comes from Fedora Core OS, so we have backwards compatibility to the old Ignition version.
Yeah, that was nice. It highlighted some bugs we had in our Ignition layout. So.
Okay, is there any other question? Okay, then let's wrap up, and thanks everybody, and see you next meeting. Yeah, bye.
Thanks a lot, Dongsu. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.